Our guest speaker is called Jesse Ainebiona. He's an entrepreneur and business owner with over 15 years of vast business experience. Jesse trained in mechanical engineering from Chambogo University and worked as a sales engineer at Mantrak Uganda Limited. He is a mentor and an expert trainer, service, public speaking. He empowers teams to develop skills to enable them perform effectively. He also trains people to start and grow successful businesses and to become effective and influential leaders. Jesse runs mentorship programs for young professionals and graduate students to equip them with skills that will enable them thrive in the job market. He has facilitated trainings and workshops here in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa. And through these, he has influenced hundreds across the world to become positive agents for change. Jesse sits on the board of the Ark International Schools and All Saints Cathedral Newfield Nursery School. He is a Rotarian from the Rotary Club of Kampala West, where he served on the board as the club administrator. Jesse is a member of Toastmasters International, an organization that empowers and nurtures individuals to develop public speaking, leadership, and communication skills. He is also the past president of Bukoto Toastmasters Club. Jesse is a married man and is married to Diana, and together they have two daughters, Rabi and Moriah. Fellow kitmates, ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Mr. Jesse Ainebiona. Jesse, thank you so much for honoring our invitation. You're welcome. You may take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol, for that kind introduction. I truly appreciate that. I send out my regards to all the Rotarians and Toastmasters, my friends who have joined me on this call this evening. I greet you all, and I'm very delighted to be with you to speak about something that I love and something that I'm very passionate about. This evening, we convene to reflect on a very pertinent subject, effective communication skills, and what we can learn from Toastmasters. There are certain skills that are essential in life. And according to Robert Kiyosaki, author of The Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says there are 4 skills that are a must-have for everybody, regardless of your position, regardless of your profession, regardless of your title or your role. Everybody needs to acquire these skills. The first is leadership. Why leadership? Because all of us can be leaders regardless of the position that we hold. It has nothing to do with title. It has everything to do with the way you carry yourself. And I know Rotary, in one way or another, empowers and equips us to become effective leaders. The second skill that all of us need is sales. Because at one point in time, you might have to persuasively convince somebody to either buy an idea or to take on your product or your service. It has nothing to do with exchanging a product for money. It has everything to do with the way you communicate. And the third thing is basic accounting. Because I believe all of us should know how much money we earn and how we spend that money or how we should invest it. You don't need a financial expert for that. At least you should be able to know that. All of us need an expert in one way or another, but all of us can acquire basic accounting. And the last is public speaking and interpersonal skills. I just thought I should begin with this for us to get perspective about why communication is an essential skill in life. And specifically for this session, we are going to be drilling on public speaking and interpersonal skills. So when we think about that, I'm reminded of a quote by George Bernard Shaw, who said that the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. There are many times when we think we have communicated, and yet you then realize that the message was not perceived. But communication is when the sender is in resonance with the receiver, that the message you communicate is received the way you intended it to be received. That is what we call effective communication. And so you realize that on many occasions, we think we have communicated, and yet in actual sense, we have not. And that is what exactly we are going to be talking about, because these are a few facts about public speaking. Let me just share with you a few of them. One is that the fear of public speaking inhibits promotion to management by 15%. So that simply means that if you have a challenge with public speaking, it can significantly curtail your ability to progress in your career. The other statistic is that people who fear public speaking get paid 10% less than those who don't. Think about that. And public speaking is the largest form of social anxiety. Okay? In fact, it is said among the biggest things that people fear most, public speaking comes about number 2 or number 6. It is in the top 10 things that most people fear. So you realize that the fear of public speaking can inhibit us in so many ways. And at the end of it all, what you say is not as important as how you say it. The source of this can be found in the Social Anxiety Disorder publication from Columbia University by Franklin Schneier. These are some of the things that Toastmasters helps to address. In fact, an American businessman called Lee Iacocca said, you can have brilliant ideas, but if you cannot get them across, your ideas will not get you anywhere. So yes, you could have a brilliant idea, you might be seated with it, but if you cannot get it across for someone to buy it and someone to consider it, then it will not get you anywhere. That's why we need to consider personal development and specifically public speaking. So what is Toastmasters all about? Toastmasters is a worldwide non-profit educational organization that was founded in 1924. It is over 90 years now. It empowers people to become more confident and effective communicators and leaders. That's what Toastmasters has been doing the world over. And its membership spans to about 358,000 people in more than 16,800 clubs in about 143 countries. How do you benefit from Toastmasters? From watching the video, I'm sure you got a bit of a snapshot about some of the things that you can achieve. But a few things that you stand to benefit is you get to improve your public speaking skills. Public speaking, like I said earlier, is something that all of us need, because anytime, anywhere, you can be required to stand up and say something. It might be as simple as giving a vote of thanks. It might be as simple as introducing someone who is going to come to the stage, the way Carol just did. So at the end of the day, you cannot run away from public speaking. But the other thing that you benefit is leadership skills. And when I think about leadership, leadership is not taught, leadership is caught. It's caught by doing certain things that leaders do. So it is not if you read a book on leadership, it doesn't make you a leader. If you attend a course on leadership, you don't become a leader by attending a course. You become a leader by doing things that leaders do. That's how you acquire leadership. And that's why I believe that Rotary and Toastmasters will equip you to become a better leader as you get involved and engaged in the activities that these organizations deliver. But the other thing is that you also learn how to practice writing speeches and presenting in a group setting. This is extremely key because there are instances when you might have to present a report at work. How do you do that? You also gain a competitive advantage in the workplace as you begin to develop yourself, because for you to develop in your career, it begins with you growing at a personal level, building self-confidence and awareness, and of course, maximizing your potential. And all this happens within a club experience. Just like it happens in Rotary, that's the same way it happens in Toastmasters. The first thing is that it is hands-on learning environment. I want to emphasize hands-on because you could read a book on public speaking or you could attend a course on public speaking, but at the end of the day, if you do not get the time to practice what you have learned, it is said what you don't use, you lose. It is just like going to driving school. You learn how to drive a car, and then after the driving experience of about 2 weeks, you have no car to drive. Most likely after 4 years, if they gave you a car to drive and you have not driven since you went to driving school, you may have to learn afresh. Why? Because you have not been practicing. So Toastmasters gives you an opportunity to practice your public speaking through a hands-on learning experience. The other thing is that you get to practice prepared and impromptu speeches. Prepared speeches are speeches which you put a lot of time and practice to prepare them. And when it comes to public speaking, I would say it is 90% preparation and perhaps 10% delivery, because a lot of the work goes on behind the scenes. And it is just the same thing that happens even in Rotary. We have DCA coming up next year. I'm sure the planning has already started. And yet the DCA will be probably about 3 days. So you can see you prepare for a whole year to deliver within 3 days. That is how much preparation goes a long way, even in your public speaking and everything else that you do. But the other thing is that you also get to practice impromptu speeches. Impromptu speeches are speeches which you do when you are not prepared. You might be in a lift, and maybe the person you have been wanting to meet shows up in the lift. This is an opportunity that you did not know was coming your way. How do you respond? What do you say when an opportunity comes unannounced? It is Les Brown who says, it's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than have an opportunity and not be prepared. Because when the opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. And so even though a speech is impromptu, it is still possible for you to prepare. You need to know how to deliver a speech in case you are called upon. You might go for a wedding this weekend, and maybe the person to speak on behalf of friends of the groom or the bride is not yet in the room, but you are there. The MC says, okay, Sarah, can you come and give us a speech on behalf of the friends of the bride? What will you do? And yet, in those opportunities, in those moments, might lie your opportunity. I remember when I had just joined Rotary, I attended this meeting where the guest speaker, for some reason, did not make it. So the club president called me and said, Jesse, I know you can organize something for us to discuss right here, right now. So within a few minutes, I got an idea and I just started sharing and I got the room engaged. 30 minutes later, the room was so vibrant, everyone was sharing. And after that, I handed the meeting back to the president. Now, after that meeting, a lady walks up to me and says, I have been looking for someone to sit on the board of my school. And from what you just did, I think you have something that you can add to my organization. Would you mind being a part of my board of directors? That is how I got an opportunity to sit on the board of directors of the ARC International School when I met Miriam Whipfler for the first time at Kampala West. So many times opportunities will come just like that. But the other thing is that you have opportunities to lead at every meeting. This gives you an opportunity to learn how to lead meetings productively. If you have been to some meetings where, for example, you meet and then they say, so what's the agenda? So people have gathered, but there is no agenda. And then about 5 minutes into the meeting, they say, who is the timekeeper? And then in the middle of the meeting, they say, by the way, who's taking the minutes? Now, those are things you begin to learn how to lead and coordinate meetings fruitfully and productively. You also gain access to a mentor, because when you become part of Toastmasters, just like it works in Rotary, you are assigned someone who is seasoned and experienced and will walk with you in this journey. And last but not least, you receive feedback and evaluations in a supportive environment. This is a very key thing, because many times there are verbal mannerisms that we may not be aware of. Let me just give you an example. There are things they call blind spots. You might be the kind that speaks with your hands in the pocket. Now, you may not even be aware. Or you might be the kind that speaks in a monotone. Or you might be the kind that does not look at people, maybe because of what you were told growing up, that you don't look in the eyes of old people, so you don't look in people's eyes. Now, all those are things that sometimes we are not aware of, but they affect and inhibit the message we are trying to pass on. And talking about feedback, there are things they call the elements of effective communication. For instance, body language contributes 55% of your communication. Your words contribute 7%. and the tone of your voice contributes 38%. Now, what does this mean? Does it mean words don't matter? Of course they do. But remember what I said earlier on, it's not what you say that matters, it's how you say it. Now, it doesn't mean you just go and say nothing or things which don't make sense. But at the end of the day, if I can just give an example, if you just go to your spouse or your husband or your wife and tell them, I love you, just plainly like that, it doesn't make sense. But if you're going to say it in a way that means the message, in a way that is going to communicate, you need to mind the tone of your voice, even the body language. That is what I mean by communication. Because at the end of the day, when you're saying these words, it's not just what you say. The sincerity in your eyes, the sound and the tone of your voice, and the expression of your body will drive this message deeper than the mere saying of the words. That's what I mean by the elements of effective communication. And it is on some of these elements that your evaluator will help you to appreciate and understand how you are doing in some of these areas. The other thing, okay, my presentation seems to slide, so let me just stop share and then I pick it up again.
So just say you have 8 minutes left.
Yes, I'm just concluding. Okay, thank you, it's right there. The other thing about this is that there is a curriculum in Toastmasters called Pathways. As you can see, there are 10 paths where you can choose which path you would like to take on. If you would like to take on dynamic leadership, effective coaching, that is like a syllabus or a curriculum that we use for members to equip them in different skills. Each of these paths has got 5 core competences, including public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, and confidence. Those are some of the things you'll be able to find in each of these paths. But in addition to that, there are 300 other competences that you will find as you take on each of these paths. And learning does not stop at the club. As we have already mentioned, there is a Toastmaster magazine, which you receive each and every month with so much communication about leadership and public speaking. There are district conferences, just like in Rotary. There's an international convention that happens each and every year. Next year, it will be in Nashville, Tennessee. There are speech contests where you get an opportunity to participate and grow yourself as an individual, and much more helpful resources at the website, as you can see there. Moving on, at the last conference, which we held online in May, if a Ugandan from Muyenga Toastmasters Club became the district champion. So what that simply means is that in the district which covers Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Ethiopia, Uganda emerged the winner in the categories of impromptu speaking and prepared speeches. That is something that we are proud of because it means that we have something to deliver on the international stage. But what is even more exciting is that there is an alliance, as you have already watched the video, between Rotary and Toastmasters. And of course, Rotary is an organization that has been doing great work in humanitarian and solving global challenges, a big network of Rotarians in over 200 countries, and dedicated to improving lives and empowering communities. So you'll find that Toastmasters and Rotary have got many things in common, like the long, rich history, membership through clubs, volunteer leaders, global reach and impact, and helping people to grow personally and professionally. And in some parts of the world, this is something that is already happening. If I can just give you an example, there is a club called Portland Rotary Toastmasters, where it was initially a Rotary club, but after understanding how Toastmasters operates, they realized they can incorporate a Toastmasters club within the Rotary club. And let me just read, these are 2 testimonials, but let me read this one. This is someone called David Knoll. He says, before Portland Rotary Toastmasters, if I was at a meeting and the chairman called for volunteers to speak before a group, I tried to quietly sleep under the table where I would not be noticed. Now I'm the first to say, I will do it. Those are some of the testimonials that I have also experienced and observed within our own Toastmasters here in Uganda. So those are some of the clubs that are currently happening in Uganda. We have camp. You can just look at the list. Some are community, others are corporate like Stanbic and Standard Chartered, and many others that are prospective, that are growing, coming up in different parts of the country. So I believe that this partnership will help us to strengthen our clubs by diversifying our membership. That marks the end of my session. And what I would like to do now would like to conduct a very short demonstration of what we call impromptu speaking. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I have a colleague on the call right now called Olivia. Olivia is going to help me to time. So I'm going to call out members impromptu, so no one knows that I'm going to call out their name. What I will do, I will assign you a topic which you will speak on for 1 to 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, Olivia will show you green. So keep talking until you see the green card. So I don't expect you to talk under for 10 seconds. Keep talking until the 1 minute card is up. And then if she shows you yellow, it means it is time for you to wrap up and conclude. Okay, I hope that is clear. So I'm going to begin with someone that I've already identified from the list. Just to demonstrate, perhaps let me just ask someone to demonstrate what exactly I'm talking about. This is the topic, and I'm going to read the name after the topic. If not now, then when? The topic, if not now, then when? Sam Bakutana.
Jesse. Ladies and gentlemen, what a privilege for me to be here this wonderful evening. My name is Samuel A. Bakutana. I'm a certified executive coach. I'm a leadership consultant, an inspirational speaker, and also a personal development author of 15 books in the areas of business, education, relationships, and also business. I am so glad to be standing before you this evening to speak about a very important topic. There are many times when we have said that we want to do this, I want to do this, I want to build a house, I want to go for a master's degree in business administration, I want to get married in the following couple of months or years, I want to start a business, I want to change this country, I want to look after my family, I want to give my children more time. I mean, we keep saying, I want to, I need to, I think in future I have to. But now the issue is, if not now, then when? We can't continue to postpone. We can't continue to procrastinate. They say that procrastination is the thief of time. So it's important that we realize that if we are going to do things we have always wanted to do, we need to be able to begin right now. Because if not now, then when? You see, great people did not begin because they were great. No way. Instead, they became great simply because they began. When you begin, you pick the momentum. When you begin, you gain the energy. When you begin, you get the network of people who can work with you. When you begin, ideas start to flow. When you begin, you get into motion. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever it is, go and start it. If not now, then when? If not this evening, then when? If not you, then who? If not here, then where? Let us go and start. The time is now. It is either now or never. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Samuel. A hand clap for Sam. Thank you. Great. Our next speaker is going to speak on the topic, Rotary opens opportunities. Rotary opens opportunities. President-elect Rotarian Peter Cassidy, please unmute and respond to that question. Peter, are you on?
My name.
Please go right.
Network is very bad. I can't speak.
Okay, sorry about that.
My network is very bad. I can't speak.
It's okay, Peter.
I'm joking. I can. Okay, Rotary opens opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be the president-elect for Rotary Club of Kitante. I'd like to talk about Rotary opening opportunities. First of all, the two areas of opportunities that I would like to be specifically talking about this year, and that is personal growth and business growth. Personal growth through professional learning, like effective communication, which we've been talking about right now. Being able to handle public speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an opportunity that you cannot let you pass by. Hello?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Please go ahead, Peter.
Yes. So it is an opportunity that you cannot miss, ladies and gentlemen. Join Rotary and come and enjoy the opportunities that we have available with Rotary International. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Well done. Great. The next person I'm going to invite to take on this topic is Carol Tegeka. Carol, are you on? Carol, are you on? Okay, if Carol is not on, I will invite Joan Mugenzi. Joan, are you on?
Trying to settle in, trying to catch what is going on.
Joan, I'm going to give you a very simple topic, which I would like you to respond to in 1 to 2 minutes. Are you ready?
Let me give it a shot.
Okay, it's a very simple question. What gives your life meaning?
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, Rotarians, and happy to meet you, Jesse, and putting me on the spot. When I had Samuel Bakutana as the person who is doing a demo, I knew that was a planted person, because certainly we know you as a public speaker, you train people in public speaking, and I know that that gives you meaning. And so when I think about life and what gives me meaning is each and every one of us has to identify that aha moment, that thing that gives them purpose, that thing that gives them meaning, that thing that defines who they are, because the world has a different narrative for each one of us. And yet we are supposed to be in control of the narrative that we offer the world. And in order for your life to have meaning, it should start by discovering who you are. Do you understand who you are? Do you understand what uniqueness you offer the world? Even when we meet in places like Rotary, where does my uniqueness fit within the context of Rotary so that I'm able to deliver my very best in this space? I know, for example, that I'm a professional certified coach, and that is something that really excites me. It resonates with me because I know that every individual needs to find their true north. And sometimes in order to touch that point, your true north, you need an independent person, someone who really is not attached to you, but then they're able to support you to discover that which gives you meaning. And therefore, once you discover that thing that gives you meaning, even your investments will be directed. The networks you choose will be directed in terms of, you will know who you want to surround yourself with. You will know what literature to read. You will know what audiences to reach out to. And so please, everybody, discover purpose, find meaning, and life will be more exciting. So over to you.
Well done, Joan. Thank you so much. In the interest of time, I will just pick one more person, just one. I will pick Lillian Akot. Lillian, are you on? Okay. If Lillian is not on, let me just have a volunteer. Anyone willing to volunteer, or I pick one more person? Okay. Can I pick Florence Chasimire?
Seconded.
Okay. Florence, your
Yes,
question.
yes, Jesse, I'm here.
Thank you, Florence. Talk to us on the topic, it takes a village to raise a child.
Thank you, Jesse, and I'm glad to be here to see you and to hear from you. I'm Florence, and I'm a civil servant, and I'm also I have passion in. I'm an entrepreneur as well. It takes a village to raise a child, right?
Yes.
Yes, and that resonates so well with me. Growing up, I grew up in a way that many of us were raised by many people, not only your parents, but also the neighbors and your aunties and relatives. So, and I feel in that way we had the privilege of we had the privilege of having.
Florence, have we lost you? Okay, sorry about that. Florence, sorry that we couldn't finish your speech. I can't quite hear you. But thank you for the effort. I appreciate that. I noticed you have already used 1 minute. I would like to hand the meeting back to the president for the moderation of the Q&A. Thank you all. Well done. And I appreciate having been here with you.